Can you please talk about the differences between the partial glimpse and the final glimpse?
Final is not the final is not a good adjective, but a liberating glimpse.
Yeah, okay, liberating.
A partial glimpse is a glimpse that gives you some information about awareness or reality. But that doesn't liberate you from the belief that awareness is limited.
Okay, and after this...
Let me give you an example of non-liberating glimpse. If you ask someone in the street, are you aware? They would say yes. Are you conscious? They would say yes. And do you know that from experience? They would say yes. Or do you know that because your dad has told you that you are conscious? They would say no. I know that from experience. And they are correct. But are they liberated from the belief that this awareness is limited? No.
Okay.
So that would be a partial glimpse. It tells us something true about awareness, right? Or reality, but at the same time it doesn't liberate us from ignorance, which is a belief that we are separate. That's why the investigation, the Atma Vichara, the investigation into the nature of self, is not just who am I or what am I, because that's true, but that's too vague. It can be more surgical, and the more surgical version is what is the evidence that awareness is limited. That's very precise. And it's about me as awareness, so it's about something, I'm investigating something about me, right? About me as awareness, but which is very surgical.
And when there is this liberating glimpse, are there still some question arise? Like, it's not like a...
Ask yourself, do you believe that awareness is limited?
It's not limited.
I mean, not even... Do you have any evidence that it is limited? Do you have any evidence that awareness is limited?
No.
Okay? So, that's a glimpse. Are you certain that there is no evidence that awareness is limited?
Yes.
Are you certain that no such phenomenal evidence can ever be found?
No.
You're not certain?
No.
Then something is missing. Because the glimpse is that nothing that appears in awareness can give you any information about awareness.
Yes.
You agree with that?
Yes.
So, how could any upcoming phenomenon give us new information about awareness?
Well, I guess they are coming from my mind.
What?
I guess they are coming from my mind. Like doubts.
Yeah, but I ask you a very precise question. Are you absolutely certain? You said yes.
Yes.
So there are no doubts in your mind. If you are to be absolutely certain means, in my book at least, there are no doubts in my mind. It's the same thing, right? If there are doubts in your mind, you are not absolutely certain.
I would say like 80%.
So there means there are 20%. There is a 20% doubt in your mind. So
I guess like I need like some kind of like validation or something because.
Yeah, but I wanted to take you somewhere else. You know, I want to take you.
Please.
But it's very important to investigate this remaining 20%.
Yes.
Because if you say there is 20% of doubt, what is it? You see, because it means that the understanding that nothing that appears in awareness can give us valid information about awareness has not really hit home. It has kind of been seen, but not with insufficient clarity.
There is like a background, and it can be all focused to some object, or it can be somehow focused into itself. And when it's focusing into this itself, then it's clear clarity that that's it.
But I was talking about something a little bit different, right? It's like you are shown picture taken by a photographer. Upon seeing these pictures, can you tell whether, when the photographer was taking this picture, what was his or her body temperature? Can you?
No.
Can you tell the color of his or her eyes?
No.
The gender?
No.
Right? What he was thinking at that moment? Not even that, you cannot.
Yeah.
Right? So in the same way, imagine in this metaphor that the photographer stands for awareness. And the picture, whatever appears in awareness. So that's the point I was trying to make. And I cannot prove it to you, you see. It's very, that just as, using this analogy, just as the picture taken by a photographer or the observation made by an astronomer don't tell us anything on the gender, hair color, eye color, etc., temperature, body temperature of the photographer or the astronomer.
Yes.
Right? Yes. It's an analogy in which the photographer represents awareness, and the content of the photography, of the picture, represents whatever is perceived by awareness. You see? And the reason is the following. Let me explain why, and that may help you. Is in order to be able to say something about awareness, we need to perceive awareness somehow. In order to say something experientially about awareness. If I want to say something about this piano, I need to perceive the piano, right? And I say, okay, there is Steinway's put here, and it's a, 7-foot thing. It's black. it's not shiny, etc. I can say things about this piano because I see it.
Mm-hmm.
If you tell me, Francis, tell me something about a piano which is at this address in New York. What color is it? Which brand? Etc. Who cares? I mean, who knows? Right? So, in order to truly be able to say something about something, we need to perceive the something. It's very simple, right? It doesn't take rocket science, right, to understand. Okay. Now, in order to be able to say something about consciousness, you must perceive consciousness.
Yes.
Therefore, and that's the only way. That's the only way. Therefore, if you just perceive the contents of consciousness, it's not consciousness. Perceptions.
What do you mean by content of consciousness?
Perceptions. Images.
Yeah.
Sounds. Bodily sensations. Thoughts.
But if I feel it, it's like, for example, you have described it, it's like a movie. I feel like I'm a couch and the movie just go, that include everything, including this body. Or like when there is now interaction between those two bodies, and it's just happen in the background.
Does the content of awareness tell you anything about awareness?
It's telling me that it's always the same.
Not the content, because the content changes all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
The content, I mean, Francis may tell you it's always the same, but these are just words. These words may be efficient in pointing out and taking you to the experience of awareness, but the words are the finger pointing at the moon. The finger is not the moon. The experience of the finger is not the experience of the moon. The experience of Francis' words about awareness is not the experience of awareness. But it's better, it's more likely to see the moon if the finger is pointing towards the moon than if the finger is pointing towards the tree. So
what would be the proper way to investigate the qualities then of the conscious?
We were staying with something and you just went on a tangent.
Okay.
Which we are not supposed to do here because
okay.
I want to maintain you on the curve. What I was trying to show you is that the content of awareness cannot give us any information of real value about awareness. For the following reason is that in order to truly know with certainty anything about awareness, we need to perceive awareness, not the perceptions that appear in awareness.
How do you know it's the difference between perception of the awareness and experiencing awareness itself?
If I perceive the table, I perceive simultaneously the table and the wood. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
In this analogy, the wood represents consciousness. The table is made out of wood. The wood is not made out of tables.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So, it is true that, in fact, when we perceive perceptions, in fact, It is awareness appearing as perception, just as it is wood appearing as the table.
Yeah.
But if what we perceive is the table and not the wood, we are not going to get information about the wood. We are going to get information about the table. It is that long, it has 4 legs, it is this color. Then if we look at the wood, we say, oh, that's some, I don't know, Chinese hardwood. That's different. It's a different investigation, right?
Yeah.
So the problem, it's not completely germane, because in this case, both the table and the wood are objective appearances, whereas in the case in point, one doesn't appear objectively, phenomenally, consciousness.
Yeah.
So, but it would be like if the information, the phenomenal observation that appears in consciousness would give you information about consciousness, it would be like as if the fact that this table has 4 legs would tell us which wood it is made out of. You see, which is not. I'm going through this lengthy thing, and I'm trying to crack the nut here. That only the experience of consciousness can deliver information about consciousness. Not the experience of objects appearing in consciousness in spite of the fact that they are made of consciousness.
Yes.
Think about it, because it has to become crystal clear and certain, because that would be a glimpse.
I will contemplate. Thank you very much.